Do not attempt to adjust your device screen. We are in control of the broadcast. We control the horizontal. We control the vertical. The time has come. Please stand by for a live transmission from Halloween Daily News. Yes, yes, yes. The time has come. Light up those pumpkins, everybody, because we are live. It is Monday night. Let's see who else is awake and alive out there tonight. Happy Michael Myers Monday, everybody. Welcome to it. If you're new here, my name is Matt. We are Halloween Daily News, and this Cinco de Myers that you just found yourself in the middle of is what we like to call Michael Myers Monday Live, our gathering, hangout, general party in celebration of the greatest franchise, the most hallowed of all horror franchises and all things Michael Myers. So, if you're new, welcome. I hope you'll hang out. Hope you'll subscribe. Hope you'll become a channel member. It's just $5 a month. Like some of our friends already lighting it up over here in the live chat. I see Fall Guy, another illustrious channel member. What's up, man? Good to see you. As always, super chats are open. Channel memberships are open. You get early access to our interviews like Fall Guy gets. We got a good one coming this week. I'm going to tell you about in just a minute. What's up, Phil? Richard has checked in. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Let's scroll up here. Michael Myers is in the house lurking. Good to see. Byron is here. What's up, man? Rob has checked in. What's up? Happy Michael Myers Monday. Darlene is here. And Jason Yost and Megan has checked in. Awesome. Good to see all you guys. It has definitely been a few minutes since our last live stream. What's up, Richard? Where do you get those light up emojis? You can get those as a channel member, as a matter of fact. That's one of the perks. You get to use some of our custom emojis that you see right there that Fall Guy and myself were just using. So, again, it's just $5 a month. Check it out. Lots of cool perks, lots more coming, including exclusive giveaways like the one we just concluded. Thank you if you entered our Drop Digital giveaway, and thanks to Universal Home Entertainment for hooking that up for us. We just concluded it. We just notified the winners. They're stoked. Sorry if you didn't win, but we got more exciting giveaways and stuff like that coming, including some exclusive member stuff. And of course, members get early access to all of our interviews, like this week's upcoming interview that I'm very excited. We haven't announced it yet, so this is a first for you guys here during Triple M. But just a few weeks ago, I got to talk to director Andy Tennant, and he's a director and producer who has worked on tons of huge Hollywood films that you would recognize. Not much in the horror genre in his filmography. He's more known for stuff, rom-coms like Sweet Home Alabama and Hitch and stuff like that. And but he's got a new movie coming out this week called Unit 234, which I highly recommend. It's an excellent movie. The title and the poster don't necessarily advertise it as well as it should, because it's definitely a hidden gem that you're going to appreciate. But my interview with Andy is coming up later on this week, so check that out. And our channel members, of course, will get it before anybody else does. So thanks for being here, guys. It is Michael Myers Monday on Michael Myers May the 5th, 2025. Kicking off Michael Myers May. That's right. That's what we're calling it. We're christening it Michael Myers May. And it's Michael Myers, our first ever Michael Myers Mother's Day edition, because tonight our feature discussion is we're going to be talking all about the best and maybe, yes, some of the worst mothers in Haddonfield and in the wider Halloween franchise universes throughout the franchise, right? Not just in Haddonfield. So that's going to be our main focus later on tonight as we get into that. And of course, I've got a couple of news bites for us to chew on before we get to that, and maybe a flashback video if we have time later on. Of course, some shout outs, and we'll launch a poll related to our Haddonfield Moms Talk. So thank you all for being here again. If you're new, and speaking of new, it looks like Richard has just joined the Halloween Daily Club as our newest channel member. So welcome, Richard. Everybody, raise your beverage of choice, whatever you're drinking tonight. For me, it's just nice warm tea to keep my throat in check here tonight.
Nothing too crazy, but whatever you guys are drinking, have handy. Let's raise one in honor of our newest channel member, our illustrious channel member. Welcome, Richard, and check out those beautiful custom emojis Richard has access to now, just like that. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Welcome to the club, Richard. Thank you, and welcome home, everybody. Happy Michael Myers Monday. It has been a few minutes. It's been about a month since our last live stream, and it has been crazy. You might have seen some of our coverage and announcements recently. A lot of breaking news as far as 2025 Halloween product reveals. Some of the behind the scenes news and some of the reveals that aren't happening because of, I don't know, international events, tariffs, stuff like that. But it's very terrifying time right now to be a Halloween manufacturer. And but lots of stuff going on as well with our local events here on the Outer Rim of North Carolina. Our upcoming Halloween International Film Festival, big 3-day indie horror Halloween themed event that we're putting on here in Manio on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, first weekend in October. So mark your calendars and plan to join us for that. You can learn more about all of that right now, anytime at HalloweenDailyNews.com. And I'll add the link down below as well. But once you go to the website, the main website, you just hit that menu and hit the film festival link, and you can learn all about it. Yes, sir, Richard. It is good to have you here as a member. Thank you. Yes. And Fall Guy, thank you for the compliment on the shirt. Yes, rocking a classic Myers House, North Carolina shirt here. Actually, I put it on this morning thinking we were going to be talking about Halloween 6 a little bit because this year is the 30th anniversary of The Curse of Michael Myers, and this has got a little curse vibe to it. But then I realized, well, it's Mother's Day this coming weekend, so we got to do the Mother's Day edition of Triple M tonight and look at the Haddonfield moms. And that's right, that means that next month we're going to do the same thing for Father's Day as well, so get ready for that as well. All right, so again, just a reminder that thank you, Phil, for the compliments on the shirt. Thank you all for that. I appreciate that. Also, just a reminder at our online store, HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop. All merch right now. Well, we are running a halfway to Halloween sale all month, but that's just to the general public. For you guys, though, we're offering 15% just for you guys. We don't offer that publicly. It's only here if you're watching live here on Michael Myers Monday, or I guess technically if you're watching anytime on a replay. But the code is M15 to get 15% off anything in stock right now in our store, and that's for you guys, the Triple M crew, and that's at HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop. The link is already down in the description, so you can hit that at your leisure and shop away. We got a lot of Myers masks in stock, a lot of cool wall decor still in stock, and other collectibles and so forth. So check it out when you get a chance. What's up, Cody? Lighting it up in the live chat. Good to see you, man. Happy Michael Myers Monday to you. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to get into our first news bite item of the evening. And again, these are just very small news bites, some franchise adjacent news to get us started here, and then a couple merch updates that you're going to want to know about. So first of all, the illustrious Jamie Lee Curtis is returning to the horror genre. I don't know if you guys saw this. Many of you probably did, as you keep up with all things horror, like I tend to. And like we do here at HDN, but we did not do an article or report on this yet, but I did want to talk about it with you guys and get your feedback on this. Jamie Lee Curtis is going to produce and also star in an upcoming psychological horror film called Cinder. And here you can see the article reported by our friends at Bloody Disgusting. It was first reported over at Deadline, and in the film, it is the debut of writer-director Russell Goldman based on his 2022 short Return to Sender, which Jamie Lee Curtis also produced as well. The film follows a woman who experiences an e-commerce package delivery scam that becomes so personal and so disturbing that she becomes hell-bent on discovering the identity of her anonymous sender. Sounds very hypothetically terrifying and certainly timely, something that we could all hypothetically relate to. Um, Jamie Lee Curtis has been producing a ton of stuff here lately. I have not watched her Prime series um, about the Canada syrup scandal that she produced, and then she acted in as well. And then there's the upcoming Scarpetta with Nicole Kidman. I don't think that's out yet, but that's going to be a Prime series as well. But this sounds cool, and I've not watched the short yet that started it all. But this is um, a feature adaptation of a short that, like I said, she evidently also produced as well. But the plot sounds cool. But you guys, give me your thoughts on Cinder, produced by and starring Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh, and one more cool thing about Cinder is the cast. Brett Lower from Severance and David Desmalchin are among the stars of this film. So you guys know what a huge fan I am of David Desmalchin, especially after Late Night with the Devil, which was my absolute favorite film of 2024. Check out my interview with David if you haven't already. Um, but that too obviously has me pretty excited for this one. Um, so look for more on Cinder coming soon and give me your thoughts. Now, in other Haddonfield alumni news, you might have seen that the once and forever Corey Cunningham, Mr. Rowan Campbell, has recently been announced as the new Billy in the upcoming Silent Night, Deadly Night remake, which is coming this Christmas from Cineverse, which is the parent company of Bloody Disgusting. And of course, they helped bring the world Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3, and they are hoping to replicate some of that success with this Silent Night, Deadly Night reboot, in which Rowan Campbell, of course, played Corey Cunningham. Rowan Campbell. Yes, Rowan Campbell, who of course played Corey Cunningham in Halloween Ends, is playing the film's protagonist, the Killer Santa, Billy Campbell. Billy Chapman, excuse me. He's playing Billy Chapman. The cast also includes Mark Atchison, David Lawrence Brown, and David Tomlinson, but and Ruby Modine, as well as Pamela, who you might remember from the original 1984 Silent Night, Deadly Night. Honestly, I think this is kind of perfect casting. I thought Rowan, I've said many times here, I thought Rowan was great. He was definitely a highlight of Ends, in my opinion, and his performance as Corey is already kind of legendary in this franchise, as far as I'm concerned. Here is the first official still from the film that was released along with that announcement just a few days ago as we're recording this. Now, the original 1984, a lot of people like the sequel even better because the sequel really kind of recaps the entire first film, shows all the best parts. minus any possible filler, and then adds its own trash day set massacre and so forth. Um, but I always loved it. It was never a remake, but it was kind of just kind of a loose reimagining the 2012 Silent Night film. And again, it's not Billy in that. It's not the same story. It does have just a couple, winks and nods, if you know type things, um, that are directly that kind of callbacks to that original. Um, but that one, I watch that pretty much every December. Honestly, I love that movie. Um, but knowing that this is the studio that helped bring forth Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3, I have no doubt this is going to be some epic horror goodness coming our way this December. But give me your thoughts on the new Silent Night, Deadly Night 2025. Are you hyped for it? Do you do you feel maybe it's not even necessary? Let me know what you think. All right, we're gonna jump back over here into the live chat for a minute before we move into our next news bite. What's up, Brett Patrick? Another illustrious channel member checking in. Good to see you, man. Happy Michael Myers Monday to you. Let's see who else. I appreciate all the compliments on the shirts. They do not have a release date on Jamie Lee Curtis's new movie, Richard. That one is just going into production, from what I understand. Um, Silent Night, Deadly Night. They're filming that. That one's probably almost done production. What do you guys think of the casting of Rowan, of the former Corey Cunningham, now playing Billy Campbell? All right, we do have just a bit more to talk about as far as new 2025 merch. Now, there's been a lot of new Halloween holiday 2025 merch reveals just in the last few days and weeks for halfway to Halloween. And you might have seen we've been covering a lot of that, a lot of animatronics reveals and so forth. But there have been a few from this world, from the franchise, released just since our last live stream as well, including from our friends at Fright Rags, who are also Halloween International Film Festival sponsors. You too can be a sponsor of the film festival. All that info is at HalloweenDailyNews.com. But check this out. Fright Rags dropped their Happy Halloween Trio bundle celebrating Season of the Witch. Y'all know I always love to throw H3 some love, even though it is Michael Myers Monday. I know. You're saying, but, yeah. But check it out. It comes with that badass shirt, the tote, the plastic cup, and the sticker pack of the trio. And that whole pack's $50 from Fright Rags. And then they also put out this, a new Hadfield Diner mug. It's unfortunately already sold out on their website, but pretty kind of funny. And speaking of 2025 merch, this is not a new 2025 item, unfortunately, but the 2024 Michael Myers life-size animatronic, officially licensed from Halloween 2, that was a Spirit Halloween exclusive in 2024, is back. It was available online only last year and is back available online in stock at this moment as we're recording on Cinco de Myers 2025. $310, and he stands 6'3" tall. As we said, he is he is officially licensed from Halloween 2. The first comments a lot of people make is, "Oh, but that hair looks so terrible right there," and it does in these photos. They did not style it well, but I do believe that it is. I've still not seen this in person myself, so I don't know for sure. But from what I understand, the hair can be styled. Um, like you can style those on the masks. And I've seen people also fit their own masks that they prefer over top of this head sculpt. But the head sculpt does have the blood tears coming down it. It's got the bullet holes and blood splatter on his coveralls, and he kind of moves at the waist, and you can see a little bit of video of him in action here. And one of the things. Oh, sorry that you're there. You can get a better idea. Now, one of the selling points on this guy is he's got this servo motor in the head that allows for that head to have a much more smooth, kind of lifelike motion. He plays generic music, not the official theme, and he has breathing noises as well. Not the same generic music, though, that Jemmy used in their H2 Michael Myers. Now, that is not to be confused with the new for 2025 officially licensed Halloween 78 life-size animatronic, which is coming very soon from Trick or Treat Studios. They, of course, unveiled it at the Halloween Party Expo back in January, and we talked about it then. And that's going to be coming and going to be made available pretty soon, I anticipate as well. But again, I know pretty much all manufacturers right now have a lot of things up in the air, and they're kind of playing things cautiously with the whole shipping situation going on nationally. All right, so give us your thoughts on those merch updates. Do you own any of that stuff, or are you going to own any of that stuff? Yeah, Richard agrees that Rowan's going to do good as Billy in the new Silent Night, Deadly Night. I think so. Yeah, I mean, I could totally see it. What's up, Larry? Good to see you, man. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Welcome. Appreciate you being here. All right. Now, like I said, I didn't know we were going to do this today until this morning, and so then we kind of put it together, and it was something that is inspired partly by a previous episode that we did here on Michael Myers Monday, where we, back in February, on the occasion of Valentine's Day, we talked about Haddonfield's happiest couples, if you'll remember, and that was a pretty fun, lively discussion that we had here, and we've had some other similar discussions, Michael Myers references in TV and movies and so forth. And so I thought it would be fun with Mother's Day on the horizon here coming up this week to look at the best and, yes, maybe some of the worst moms in Haddonfield or in the wider Halloween franchise, as it were. So, as we've done before, I've rounded up a couple that are some of my picks for some of the better moms and maybe some of the not so better. And again, this is not an exhaustive list, but that's where you're going to come in. You're going to help fill in the gaps of who I might have forgotten, and also help give me your thoughts on are these good moms or not so good moms from the parental standpoint, from the franchise standpoint. So we are going to pull that up right now, and and get into this. And I welcome your discussion throughout in the live chat. Um, so these aren't in exact. They're not really going to be in an exact order of like worst to best exactly. Um, Although I will save my pick for my favorite for the end. And but most of these, I'll give you my opinion of what maybe makes them a good or not so good mom in these films from what we know. And then I'll turn it over to you guys and you give your opinion. But we're gonna start with we will start with my pick for the worst mom in Haddonfield, and that is one of the most recent. That is, of course, Corey Cunningham's mom, Joan, and this is still actually from a deleted scene, unfortunately deleted scene from Halloween Ends, and I you've seen Halloween Ends, and just what you see on screen, she is pretty terrible to Corey, and just pretty much not much redeeming quality to be found there. And but man, if you have read the novelization, wow, it is unbelievable. What a monster she really is. The novelization by our friend Paul Brad Logan for Halloween Ends goes much deeper on the true just damage that this woman inflicted on Corey, and it makes her demise in the movie. Um, I gotta say, just that much more. Um, well, if ever there was a justified kill, it might be that one. And again, there's a great deleted scene included on the Halloween Ends Blu-ray, which is the full kill scene that you don't see of Corey's mom in the film. And man, it's probably the deleted scene that I wish they had kept in more than any other one. It's so good, and there's trick or treaters outside the house, and they're just yelling for candy and getting all rowdy, and it's an awesome scene. And it's just one of those where you're just really kind of well, you're rooting for somebody to get it because man, what a monster she was. So yeah, let's get that one out the way. Now there's not a ton of mom uh, characters in the first three films, really. The what I'll call the Carpenter Hill trilogy, if you will. Of course, we could talk about Michael's mom. She does show up there for a few seconds in the opening scene, which would not, I mean, would not classify her as good mom, just in what we see just for a little bit, because um, this always gets me every single time I've watched the movie 800 times. And I know it's supposed to be a tableau and it's artistic and everybody's kind of frozen in place, but it's always funny that the mom, she doesn't stay completely frozen as Carpenter pans out and out. You actually see her put her hand in her pocket, just kind of, oh well, Michael just murdered his sister. They're in shock though, right? But no, we're not gonna talk about that one. We could talk about the mom in H2. At the beginning of H2, taking the little boy into the hospital with he's bitten into some candy and bitten into a razor. But no, we're gonna go again to Santa Mira, and we are going to talk about Halloween 3 because there is a mom in Halloween 3 of note, and she's actually a franchise icon, the great Nancy Loomis. This is, of course, Linda Chalice, Dan Chalice's ex-wife and mother to his two kids. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh man, she's such a drag. She's so annoying in that movie. She's so just nagging. And that is how the film presents her, of course, but it's also pretty much because she is that way to Dr. Dan Chalice. But let's be honest, everybody. I mean, I think we can agree that Dan Chalice probably was not the greatest husband to begin with. And just from what we see in the movie, he's not even the greatest dad. Just from what we get in that movie. And but Linda, on the other hand, for all of her nagging and annoying Dan throughout the film, let's not forget that Linda came through where it counted most with the kids and their silver shamrock masks. That's right. She didn't show up with the cheap generic version. She got them the silver shamrocks that they really wanted. And really, I mean, isn't that what matters most? And again, yeah, I know that if she had gotten them the generic masks, then maybe they wouldn't have had their heads explode at the end. We don't know if they exploded at the end. We don't know what happened at the end, but they wouldn't have been in danger. I know, but they also wouldn't have had the thrill of wearing those silver shamrock masks and being there for the big giveaway. So, for those reasons, for coming through on the silver shamrock masks, I'd say Linda Chalice is actually one of Haddonfield's better moms. Now, I don't know if she was a good wife. I'm sure Dan Chalice says not. But again, let's not go there, because I don't think he was probably an ideal husband either. Moving on to the next era of Halloween films into the 90s. How about this Haddonfield mom? How about Deborah Strode, played by Kim Darby? Now, this is actually one of my favorite moms in the franchise. I mean, I hate seeing her get walked all over by her asshole husband. And again, yeah, we'll talk about him when we do this for Haddonfield's best and worst dads. But gosh, I hated seeing her get it when she gets the axe out in the among the laundry, the clotheslines. But again, is she a good mom or a bad mom? Don't really see much wrong with her throughout what we see on screen anyway. But, other than the fact that she's not really standing up for herself as much as maybe she should. But she does try to support Kara, it seems like. And she certainly doesn't get that from her dad, John Strode, who definitely has everything he's got coming his way. I don't feel like Deborah deserved the fate that she got, but of course, Michael, you're up in his way. But you guys tell me what you think about Deborah Strode. Moving right along, let's talk about another Deborah Deborah Myers in Rob Zombie's Halloween, of course, played by Sherry Moon Zombie. Good mom, bad mom. I mean, she's maybe not role model mom material for Judith, but yeah, she works as a stripper at Rabbit and Red, but she's making ends meet, doing what she's got to do. Certainly not a good judge of character as far as boyfriends. She brings Ronnie into their house, and he treats all of them like complete crap. But, I mean, you could argue she's a pretty good mom when it comes to Michael. She's trying. When the school comes in, she's pretty fired up and defending him, And definitely heartbreaking when she sees that he's completely lost, and she witnesses that murder here right after this scene in Smith's Grove. And but then that most heartbreaking scene in the entire film, maybe, when she of course offs herself, you know, that gunshot, and I I I can feel her anguish after losing Judith, after basically losing Michael. But to leave baby Lori there, baby Lori screaming, crying. She could have ran away with baby Lori, started over somewhere, left the evil behind, maybe. But nope, nope. Wasn't meant to be. So, for those reasons, sorry, Deborah. Bad mom. Not because you're a stripper, not because you're not a role model, not because you have terrible taste in men, but because you couldn't stick around for baby Lori. She needed you. Let's move in to, again, the most recent era, the Blumhouse trilogy, the David Gordon Green trilogy, what I call sometimes the Strode trilogy of films. Maybe the era with the most motherhood representation of any of these films. We already talked about one of them, the worst, with Corey's mom. But how about the first mom we meet in that film? A new resident of Haddonfield, Mrs. Allen, of course, Jeremy's mom, played by our friend Candace Rose. Check out my interview with her from last year if you haven't already, elsewhere on the channel. We might play a little flashback to that here in a couple minutes. But how about Jeremy's mom? Good mom or bad mom? You guys tell me what you think. I mean, she certainly, you can't fault her for wanting to go out, have a good time, get in the spirit of Halloween. We love that. They go out, come home, obviously. Who wouldn't be destroyed and who wouldn't be triggered every Halloween? I mean, cut to a couple years later, she has that heartbreaking scene with Corey where she sees him and she's still wearing the same costume she was wearing on that fateful Halloween night. So she's so tortured. Her marriage has fallen apart during all that time. It clearly destroyed them. But does that make her a bad mom? Or does that just make her a destroyed mom? I mean, I would argue, a lot of that rage pointed at Corey. It's not justified, but it's understandable. It's definitely understandable. So again, I don't think she's necessarily a bad mom. I think she's just an incredibly crushed and destroyed mom. And Candace did an awesome job portraying her in both this scene when you first meet her as like the super just carefree, and then of course a couple of years later just a total different person. Really great performance in that film. So moving into the home stretch here, how about these moms? A tale of two Laurie Strode moms. That's right. I mean, we've seen Laurie Strode be a mom in two different eras. There's the H2O version of Laurie Strode mom, and then there's, of course, the 2018 version of Laurie Strode as mom and grandma, for that matter. And you guys tell me what you think, but I kind of feel like H2O mom is the better if we're looking at parenthood. Now, as a fan of the films and the franchise and of these characters, I like the 2018 version of Laurie better to watch as entertainment. But if I'm judging on parenthood, I think the H2O Laurie is much more well-adjusted. And I think John Tate is much more well-adjusted in that film than Karen. And they, as strained as their relationship, John and Jamie's or Carrie's in that movie, maybe in H2O. Um, it's nothing like as strained as Karen and Jamie's in 2018. So I would say H2O. Lori Mom has the edge. Of course, 2018 Lori Mom. We know from the film, social services takes Karen at a pretty young age, but she does, I'd say H2O Mom. 2018 Lori, her greatest gift to Karen is, of course, training her and instilling that training that even though she didn't believe it, even though she tried to leave it behind when it counted most at that gotcha moment, she pulled through. Karen did because of the training. So in that way, 2018 Lori did a kick-ass parenting job in that way. But in most other ways, I'd say H2O Lori has the edge. And of course, her defining moment, getting the kids to safety and then going back to face the boogeyman, face her demons, face her brother in that. Love all that. But while we're talking about the Strode moms, I mean, we've got to talk about Karen as well. I've said here before that Karen was a character that in 2018, I didn't love the character very much and didn't even find her all that interesting until that gotcha moment. And then at that moment, she became one of the most interesting characters in the entire franchise at that moment. And then in going into Kills, that was kind of her movie in so many ways. And I would argue her defining good mom moment, it's got to be saving Allison in the finale of Kills. Allison's fighting with Michael, and here comes Karen with the pitchfork, and of course takes his mask, draws him away to what she thought, foolishly albeit, would be the end of the Shape. Of course, it wasn't, and, but she saved Allison and Lori, for that matter, for the time being in that movie. So, all that being said, all of these Haddonfield mothers, there's one more that I think might be the best of them all. I was thinking about it all day, like which these moms would is the coolest, is like the most down to earth, is the least traumatized, maybe, the least abusive in the case of Corey's mom. And then it hit me. Oh, yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be Laurie's mom, Cynthia Strode, in Rob Zombie's Halloween remake, of course, played by the legendary Dee Wallace. She's so likable in that movie, in every scene she's in. And then it got me thinking of her and Laurie's dad in that movie. And they're so believable and just actually one of the few just seconds of kind of lightheartedness in that remake, which is so oppressive in so many other ways. And their performances are great. And they're just kind of believable as just suburban Midwest parents in what is very much otherwise very often a very heightened type of Rob Zombie universe. And of course the fact that it's Dee Wallace, I mean, that's E.T.'s mom, that's Cujo's mom, that's the quintessential genre mom. So of course Laurie Strode's mom. So yeah, if I gotta pick a best tonight, and again, I could change my mind tomorrow. You guys might come up with a suggestion that totally changed my mind. But yeah, I can't think of a better mom in Haddonfield than Cynthia Strode circa Halloween 2007 and talk about heartbreaking moments. Yeah, her death, so brutal and just gutting to watch. Speaking of the great Dee Wallace, we got to meet Dee a couple times actually over the years, but for the first time it was almost 10 years ago, back 9 years ago in 2016 at Mad Monster Party out in Charlotte. And here's a throwback photo of myself interviewing Dee back then, and she was awesome to talk to us. There we are again. You can check out that interview with Dee Wallace also in the interview section at HalloweenDailyNews.com, and I'll put a link down in the description of this video. Now, again, I know this is not every mom in Haddonfield or even in the wider Halloween movies multiverse, and that's why now I turn it over to you. Tell me who I've forgotten. Tell me which one of these I might have gotten wrong. Do you agree or disagree? What good moms and bad moms have we missed, and can you add to this discussion? I want to hear from you guys on the best and worst mothers of Haddonfield right now in the comments and right now over here in the live chat. What we're going to do while you guys are discussing, I'm going to read some of these comments. I'm going to scroll up and Tim Leo has checked in. Excellent. Oh, yeah. You guys agree about Corey's mom. That's awesome. As I said, I do have a flashback video related to this. I haven't interviewed a lot of these moms. I did get to interview Dee Wallace. We didn't talk much Halloween at that time, but I will share that interview. But of these moms, just last year, I had the pleasure of talking to Candace Rose about playing Mrs. Allen, Jeremy's mom, in Halloween Ends. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play that clip while I get caught up on your comments over here in the live chat, and then I'll come back and answer your comments over here, and we'll go into the rest of tonight's program. So check out this flashback to my 2024 conversation with Candace Rose. This is she's going to be talking about getting the role of Mrs. Allen, auditioning with David Gordon Green, and ultimately filming that scene in the bar that we were talking about, that emotional scene where she confronts Corey. And I'll be right here in the live chat as this is playing. So don't go anywhere. If you've already seen this, you can be excused to step aside for about 5 minutes. Otherwise, check this clip out from our conversation with Candace Rose.
Still, we have things. So, we have actors have age. This is interesting. So, we have actors have agents, they submit us to projects. We also have access to actors access. And it is where all of our headshots are on there. We get submitted through to casting directors from our agents on Actors Access, but you can also get on there or get alerts sent to you when a character fits your description.
Okay.
And I got a notification about a character by the name of Mrs. Mead in a project called Cave Dweller. And I thought, well,
Okay.
it says SAG scale +10, and it is a feature film,
Hmm.
and David Gordon Green is directing it. So I thought, I'm going to submit to this. Well, I happened to be in Atlanta at the time filming Ordinary Joe for NBC,
Hmm.
and I got this audition. And I had no idea what it was. I just knew that it was uh I knew it was a horror film. And
Hmm.
but they were dummy sides.
Yeah.
And so there wasn't a lot of background. I channeled my mother. She used to get really irritated when me or my sister would put a wet towel on a wooden door or a wooden chair. She would lose it. And so when I had to scream, "What have you done?" I kind of channeled my mother. I've got these favorite curtains in my bedroom. They're gorgeous blue with um, gold piping through them, and they're just absolutely stunning. So I just decided that I had left the babysitter at my house to babysit, which was the case.
Hmm.
And when I got back home, this babysitter had spread shit all over, literal shit all over my curtains. And I lost it. And I said, "What have you done?" And I had no idea what it was going to ultimately be.
Hmm.
It gave us no background, you know?
Hmm.
So I had to create that backstory
Yeah.
for myself, which obviously had nothing to do with reality of what was in the movie. Um, and then also I don't have kids. So when I at one point was chasing my son, I was saying, I added in, I'm gonna get you, because I do have dogs. And I run behind them and chase them and say, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you. But so after the audition, I reached out to my manager and I said, I got a call back for this movie. It's called Cave Dweller. I'm just letting you know. And he said, "Do you know what that is?" And I said, "No." He said,
Hmm.
"That's the Halloween franchise." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." I I died. I died. And I wish he hadn't told me before the callback, because it was with David Gordon Green. And then I knew all about, what was
Right.
happening. So I had the callback, and everything went well. I screamed, "What have you done?" And David said, "Okay, I want you to do that one more time, and I want you to do it straight into camera."
Hmm.
So I did it straight into camera, and now I see why they wanted me to do that, because I
Yes.
had that terror in my eyes with the shit on the curtains. And it was very real for me.
I
And
love it.
ended up booking it, and the script was completely different, but it was great because of COVID.
Hmm.
And I was in Atlanta. They didn't want me to go back and forth from Atlanta to Savannah. So they put us up in a hotel for 2 weeks because of COVID.
Yeah.
And I got to explore Savannah, which was pretty awesome. It's
It's
beautiful
nice.
there.
Hmm.
And I had never done a film before. This was my first film. I'd done
Hmm.
mostly TV and procedurals, episodics. And
Hmm.
so when we got there, we met, all of us together. It was very collaborative, and he sat us in a room, me and Rowan Campbell
Hmm.
and my husband, Jack, and we rehearsed and talked about the characters. But it was interesting because David didn't share anything. He
Hmm.
said to me,
Yeah.
"No one, including the producers, knows how this movie ends."
Nice.
He said, "Me and Paul,
Hmm.
the other writer, and Danny McBride, of course,
Yeah.
know how it ends, but no one else does." So I part of me wishes I had seen a little bit of the script because I didn't realize that Corey was alienated by the entire town. And
Hmm.
I was after those 3 years when I'm still wearing that same costume after
Yeah.
my child is gone.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't realize I was just one of the pieces of, you know, one of the
Right.
people alienating him.
Right.
Um, so I didn't sleep. I was okay. The house scene, the opening scene, like I was good to go with that.
Yeah.
Ready to rock and running around and that was totally fun. And the outfit was great. And
Yeah.
everyone on the crew, team, the makeup, everyone was so thrilled to be there and so professional. It was just an amazing experience. But I did not sleep a minute before the day that I had to film that scene in the bar
Yeah.
because that monologue, I didn't really know, I didn't really know a lot. And David had a lot of different things in mind. He had me do it like a monster. He had me do it like uh we did several takes and I'd gotten there at 5:30 in the morning and we weren't shooting that scene until about 8 o'clock at night. And there were so many extras. So they were rushing. And
Yeah.
David, to be quite honest, I don't think was getting what he wanted from me. So he had the mask on and he came up to me at one
Yeah.
point and he started yelling at me to show me how intense he wanted me to be. And it was very scary,
I
but
bet.
he's super nice and wonderful. But man, his eyes dug into my soul.
Yeah.
So it
And
was pretty intense, that whole scene. And the loud music, he had us listen to
yeah.
that song that was playing. He
Hmm.
had us get familiar with it
Hmm.
before we shot it.
Hmm.
And it was mayhem.
All right, we are back live. It is Michael Myers Monday. Michael Myers, May the 5th, Cinco de Myers, 2025. Um, yeah, you can watch that full interview with Candace Rose. I hope you will if you haven't already. Or if you just want to revisit it, if you did last year, in context of a year later, check it out. Um, Something really interesting if in that clip, you notice she says that she's not a mom in real life. She's not a parent, but she played the hell out of it in Halloween Ends as Jeremy's mom. And if you're a Stranger Things fan, then you also saw her play the hell out of the role as um, Chrissy Cunningham's mom in Stranger Things, which again is kind of funny because her last name was Cunningham in Stranger Things, and she's dealing with Corey Cunningham in Halloween Ends. It's just kind of funny, but yeah, I mean, great talent there to be able to play these grieving moms so effectively. Um, Reading y'all's comments here, I see a lot of you guys agree with um, well, some of my picks for the most likable and best, and I think we're pretty unanimous on the least favorite mom, the worst mom in Haddonfield. Darlene says that was a great interview. Thank you, Darlene. I appreciate that. Richard says you covered the moms pretty good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Fall Guy says Betty Kupfer from 3. Yes, that is another mom that absolutely deserves a shout out. Let's see, Betty Kupfer. My flash thoughts on her. Really nothing wrong with her, right? I mean, she's there. She supports her husband. She's all fired up about everything, and um, good mom, I think, right? Um, And now her reaction at seeing what happens to little Buddy, yeah, that's a little more believable, maybe. Yeah, Larry says Karen should have known that that triggered Michael to take his mask. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think she definitely knew he was going to come running, but it was a heroic moment for her. That was like her big shining moment, and the fact that she gets a gotcha moment twice. But that's why um, that's why she got to go at the end because you get a gotcha moment the first time, okay. You get it the second time, well, yeah, Michael's not going to let that um, slide. I love kills though. I mean, I do. I enjoy that one a lot, and all that with Karen is awesome. And I appreciate you guys. Some of y'all agree with me that you know how much just what a better character Karen is in Kills once the events of 2018 have happened. Richard says the zombie films were good movies. Hey, I talk about it all the time. I love those films. Um, Larry says still feel like Halloween Ends should have been more about Laurie getting revenge rather than just moving on. Yeah, um, definitely definitely something to be said for that. Tim Leo has checked in. What's up, man? Happy Michael Myers Monday. Thanks for the compliments on that interview clip. I do appreciate it. And like I said, we talked about lots more, including um, more about Halloween Ends in that interview. We also did talk about her work on Stranger Things. She was also on She Hulk. If you saw that, she's the one that was kind of flirting with Matt Murdock at the end of that show. We talked about all that stuff in that interview. I'll put that link down in the description as soon as I get done here as well, if I can remember. But as you might have suspected, the Haddonfield's Best and Worst Mothers subject is the subject of this week's poll question, which just launched a few minutes ago here on the channel. And we are asking, given all of my roundup and this discussion, now, who's your favorite Haddonfield mom? And again, I'm calling them moms of Haddonfield. We're including, like we say, the Halloween 3, even though it's not technically in Haddonfield. We're including H2O, even though it doesn't take place in Haddonfield. When we say Haddonfield, it's another way for me to say the Halloween franchise if I'm saying Haddonfield. And that just goes generally here on HDN. If you didn't realize, I think most of you guys get it though. If you guys don't get it, then yeah, God help the rest of the world, right? Yeah, I think y'all got it. But let's go back and look at the poll results from our last live stream, which was it 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? I think it's been 4 weeks now. Wow. And we were talking about Halloween TV references. And that turned out to be a very popular conversation and video. And so we're going to do more stuff like that, similar to like what we've done here. Like I said, our next discussion like this, and again, this will be on nights like tonight where we don't have a ton of breaking news to talk about. Obviously, we're here to talk news, so breaking news always takes precedence. But when there isn't much, um, yeah, we're going to have some fun discussions like this from time to time. And the TV references was a big hit with a lot of you guys. In our poll, we asked what was your favorite, and we put up some of the ones we talked about. Speaking of Stranger Things, that took the win with 39% of the vote. the Michael Myers mask appearing in Stranger Things, both in season 2 and then reappearing in an epic mask callback in season 4. I love that as well. In second place is the Halloween 4 George P. Wilbur episode of Family Guy from 2011. So good. In third place, 21%, is the Halloween 3 Silver Shamrock mask in Knight Rider, way back in 1984. And then 8% is the more recent Dr. Loomis and Halloween 3 shoutouts in Hysteria. Comments, Dr. Aficionado says Dr. Loomis. And our own Saint, another illustrious channel member, says Knight Rider, honorable mention in the independent horror game Camp Sunshine. The masks are featured in one of the cabins. And that reminds me, I've got to look into that and check out that game, Camp Sunshine. I'll look forward to that for sure. And that's going to be another subject inspired by that comment that we're going to have to cover here one night. Michael Myers references and appearances in games. That's a whole another category. Other subjects we're going to dive into and discuss in the coming weeks. Stuff like Michael Myers songs and Michael Myers references in songs, because that's two totally different categories. There's a whole category of songs that are entirely about the Shape. There's a whole other category of songs that reference or just give Michael a shout out, or the franchise a shout out in some way. And we're going to do roundups of all of those. So start rounding up your own favorites on those subjects. We're also going to be talking about in coming weeks stuff like Michael's, the greatest Michael masks other than his main mask that he's ever put on. Or how about all of the characters that have ever put on Michael's mask other than Michael? There might be more than you think when you start thinking about it. I mean, 13 films, you start thinking about it's like the mom. You start thinking, well, there's not even that many mother characters, but then you start looking at every movie and well, yeah, there is. There's that and that and that. So we're definitely going to do this one again, a similar edition for Father's Day for sure. And I already think I got a pretty good idea who the worst might be, but we'll get to that when we get to it. All right, we're going to do just a couple of social media shout outs right now. This is, of course, Cinco de Myers. And we are going to start over here on Instagram. This one, there it is. All right. This one posted on Instagram today by Rebecca Dawn of the Dead. Says Happy Michael Myers Monday. Rocking her new Myers t-shirt. Another new Myers t-shirt here from Beth Loves Horror, also on IG. Says Happy Michael Myers Monday. Tell someone to fuck off today. I like that attitude. Jumping over to Blue Sky. This one is posted by Ran Silly, and it says good morning and have a marvelous Monday. Ross Silly, excuse me. And it's a pixelated Michael getting down. Another one from Blue Sky. This is posted by Andrew at Ways to Die, I think is what it says there. Have blank, pale, emotionless. Michael Myers Monday. And that's the way to do it. You do want to have a blank, pale, emotionless Michael Myers Monday, if possible. Jumping over to the Tick of the Talk. This one posted today by Justin's Crypt. Nice head tilt there. Rocking his H78 mask. Another one over here on TikTok, Johnny Ghoul Bloody. He's always posting every Michael Myers Monday, tons of content. And of course, it being Cinco de Myers, well, of course, getting down with the sombrero. And again, it being Cinco de Myers, somebody had to do it. Somebody had to do it. Here they're saying Happy Cinco de Michael. That works, but I mean, I'll allow it. But I like Cinco de Myers personally. This is posted by Nightmare Nostalgia on Threads. Well, I don't know why my screen is frozen there. Let's see. Let's go back. Here, I tell you what, guys. For some reason, my camera has locked up, but here, let me just 1 second, everybody. That's me, but for some reason my camera has locked up. I think you can still hear me just fine. All right, I'm gonna play a pre-recorded video for about a minute and see if I can get this worked out real quick. Okay, never mind about the pre-recorded. We are back now. I don't know why that happened. That was kind of weird. Anyway, technical difficulties when you're live. Richard says Michael Myers and the Halloween franchise one of the best Halloween 2 and Rob Zombie's Halloween mask were two of the best masks. Halloween Kills mask is next. Dude, yeah, you're speaking my language. I love all of them, honestly. Hell yeah. And thank you again, Richard, our newest channel member. All of our other channel members, I did see, of course, Brett. I saw Patrick Ring, that Halloween collector, checked in at some point. I think I saw. These guys are channel members that support us. Fall Guy, of course. Tim and Phil, all of our regular crew here, Larry in the house, Rob. It's great to see all you guys. Excuse me, Darlene, everybody that's checked in this evening. Again, I know it's been a minute since our last live stream. Just a lot of stuff going on here. Some exciting behind the scenes stuff. Life events, all that good stuff. But 'tis the season. Here we are. It is in. We are in Michael Myers May now. So it is a lot to look forward to right now, to say the least. What's up, Byron? Happy Michael Myers Monday, man. Good to see you. All right, it is almost midnight. I'm going to wrap up. We're going to get out of here. I want to thank you all for hanging out. Hit that poll on your favorite mom. And if you think of some other Haddonfield mothers, good or bad, drop them in the comments below. Let us hear from you. If you think of some other cool topics that we can discuss here on Michael Myers Monday, on some of the quieter news weeks, I'd love to hear from you there as well. Give us your suggestions in the comments below. I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out tonight. As always, this has been awesome, and it's all because of you guys. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for if you've been here this long. And think about becoming a channel member, joining Richard and the rest of the club if you haven't already. This has been awesome. Thank you guys. City Kitty, Darlene, Byron, everybody checking in. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Keep those pumpkins lit. Until then, I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for hanging out, for discussing, and for your support of everything we do here. We love you guys. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Good night, Haddonfield.